Hello friends, uh, thank you for watching my video. This video is about how to become a registered valuer and what are the steps and what is the exam pattern. I'm going to explain all of these things. Those people who are decided to study something after BCom or MBA, this video is going to be very helpful for them. So let's go into the video. Registered valuer is a relatively new profession because as per the Companies Act and the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, it got recognition. And in recent 1 or 2 years back only, the examination for registered valuer was introduced by Government of India. So those people who have studied BCom and want to further study something which is useful and where they can earn also, for them this registered valuer is really a golden opportunity for them. It is mandatory for certain transactions to be valued by registered valuers only. So there are a lot of opportunities for registered valuers at present, also in the future. What are the qualifications to become a registered valuer? Basically, there are three qualifications, and at least you should possess one of them to become a registered valuer. First qualification is postgraduate or equal to postgraduate degree. That is nothing but you can be a MBA or a MCom or a MCA. Then you can write the exam with minimum of 3 years of experience. Yes, experience is required. From the date of you become a graduation, minimum 3 years should be there to write the examination. And similarly, if you are a BCom or a BBA graduate, you can also write the valuer exam provided you have 5 years of experience from the date of graduation. Why this 5 years is given is because you should have at least basic knowledge about valuation and accounts and related finance related activities. That is the reason why they have given mandatory 5 years experience. Even this experience is applicable for chartered accountants, company secretaries, or cost accountants. From the date of qualification or becoming the member of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India or a company secretaries of India, they should have 3 years of experience. Please note these experience are not a practice. Even an employment is considered as an experience for you. You have to only submit employee letter or experience letter from your employer stating that you have 3 years or 5 years experience, whatever the case may be. One important thing where you have to understand here is there are three class of assets. So first class is financial assets and securities. In this, it talks about bonds, debentures, shares, options, and even ESOPs. Those people who are registered valuer for financial assets and security category, that is the first category, they are allowed to only value the financial assets. They cannot value land and building. And there is a separate examination and qualification for land and building, and separate qualification and examination for plant and machinery. I will give you in detail about land and building and the plant and machinery valuation in my next video. And in this video, I'm going to only concentrate on financial assets and securities. How the examination will be conducted? First of all, like an institute, for chartered accountants and company secretaries, you have ICSA and ICAI. Similarly, here also there is an institute mechanism is there, which is called Registered Valuer Organization. In simply, we call it as RVO. I have given you what are the lists of RVOs available where you can go and register yourself. And once you register there, it is mandatory that you have to go for 50 hours training. This institute itself, that RVO itself, will provide you a 50 hours training with certificate. This certificate is mandatory for you to appear for the examination. Without this certificate, you cannot appear for the examination. These examinations are online and conducted by NISM, which is a national stock exchange company. This NISM only conducts the valuers examination. As I said, it is an online exam where you have to appear at the NISM center and appear online. So it is a choose the best answer method. You need not write, you need not calculate, or you need not have any other than you have to just simply select the best answer. The fifth step is once you complete your examination, you have to apply for IBBI membership. And once you got the IBBI membership, your RVO, that is your where you have registered, that institute will give you a COP training. And once you completed the COP training, from that day onwards, you become a registered valuer. This is very easy and a very valuable profession. These are all the list of RVOs where you can appear for training. I suggest those people who are BCom graduates or MBAs, those who want to do this registered valuer for financial assets, they should at least try to go with these three institutes, that is ICSI, ICAI or ICWA institute. Why? Because these institutes are expertise in financial valuation. Unlike the other professions like RVO, estate management or registered valuer foundation, where they are expertise in other areas like plant and machinery valuation or land and building. But these three institutes are always preferred for you to get the 50 hours training. I have given this link where you can go and search the list of organizations where you can get this training. It is also available under IBBI website. Next is fee structure. Everyone I know wants to know how much is the cost for the RV course. If you see the RV course compared to a BCom or a MBA, to complete the RV, the entire course cost is less than 50,000 rupees. It depends on number of attempts you take. There is an initial enrollment fee of 7,000 to 10,000 rupees. I have given this range because each RVO, that is the institute which you choose, charge different rates. ICSI RVO I think charges 7,500 rupees, and ICAI charges some other money. So it depends on the which institute we choose. So approximately the cost will be 7,000 to 10,000 rupees maximum. And there is an education course fee of 50 hours. Again, ICSI charges something about 22,500 if I am right, and the CA Institute also charges for the 50 hour course. So the maximum charge for 50 hours course is should be 25,000 rupees or less. And there is an online fee for your examination which is 1,500 rupees. Please note it's per attempt. So how many number of attempts you make, from that you have to add 1,500 rupees for each attempt. There is no limit on number of attempts. Once you complete your 50 hours course, you can go for examination, and since there is no limit, you can write examination n number of times. But you have to keep in mind that the syllabus may vary from time to time, so it is always better that you complete the course at the earliest so that you can save your money as well as no need for you to study the new syllabus. Examination pattern, this is very important. First of all, the examination is very simple and easy. It is online exam and it's choose the best answer. You will get a question along with four options and you have to choose the best answer or not the correct answer. There is a key difference between the best answer and the correct answer. If it is correct answer, then out of four, one should be the correct one. If it is the best, it need not be one alone, which means out of four options, you might think that two answers are correct, but out of two, we have to choose the best one for the given question. So there is some trick in choosing the answers. I will prepare another video on how to clear the examination and what are the techniques you should follow during the online examination in a separate video. You can watch that. The examination carries a 2.25 percentage of negative marking for every one wrong answer. The pass score is 60 marks. After deducting your negative scores, you should score 60 marks to become a registered valuer. The examinations as I said conducted by NISM, and you can go and check the NISM website. I have given the link here for appearing the examination. And you can first you have to just open your link and then you have to sign in using your user ID and password. Then you can make payment and book your slot for examination. Syllabus. Syllabus is very important. You have to understand the entire syllabus and concentrate where you lack in knowledge. The first syllabus is macroeconomics. Macroeconomics carries 3 marks. I'm sure most of the BCom, MBA graduates and even chartered accountants and company secretaries would have read macroeconomics somewhere in their schoolings or in their college. So the macroeconomics are going to be basic level. They will ask about national income, about deficits, and then monetary policies, and then general affairs regarding RBI and what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate. These are the questions will be asked in macroeconomics. So you just need to study your 12th standard or BCom economics. Macroeconomics is enough for scoring these 3 marks. And finance and financial analysis, again, basic knowledge are expected from this, not an in-depth knowledge. And professional ethics, there is a professional code of conduct given in registered valuer and valuer rules. From there, four marks will be asked. And here, very important one, general laws. You can score 18 marks from this general laws itself. It contains like Companies Act, income tax, and then transfer of properties, and then some laws like recovery of dues to bank. So there are some 6 to 8 laws which comes under this general law and that carries together 18 marks. You should concentrate on this area so that it is easy for you to clear the examination. And the next one is Indian accounting standards and valuation standards. This carries 5 marks and it's very important even after you clear your RV. This particular Indian accounting standard and international valuation standards will always help you. There is 4 mark for you for overall valuation and overview of valuation. This is general basic knowledge about valuation and valuation approaches. There are 3 approaches in valuation. So you will be asked the basic information and you will be asked questions on this. Here you have to concentrate again. 35 marks are being asked from valuation application and problems. Here you will get a lot of problems like valuing the startup companies, valuing the options, valuing the fixed income bonds, and valuing the debentures. All these questions will come from this particular item, that is item number 8. So you should concentrate here. And there is a judicial pronunciation. There are some 6 to 7 case laws. It's already given in the syllabus. You can go through the syllabus from IBBI website where the detailed syllabus are available. I'm not able to post the entire detailed syllabus. I just given the highlights. You can go to IBBI website and you can check the full syllabus. Only 2 marks are asked from judicial pronunciation, and very important thing, 20 marks are being asked from case studies. Please note, out of this 20 marks, 4 questions are asked for 2 marks, which is 8. And then there is a 12 mark questions, each carries 2 marks, which means 6 questions. Even though the examination is for 100 marks, you will not be asked 100 questions. You will be only asked 90 questions, and 10 questions carry 2 marks. So if you give wrong answers for these 2 mark questions, the negative marking is 0.5. It's not 0.25. You have to note that. My suggestion is you should concentrate on case studies, that is point number 10, and concentrate on point number 8 and general laws. These three are very important for you to clear the examination. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like the video, please subscribe and also click the bell button. I will create another video for valuation profession for land and building and plant and machinery. This will be helpful for engineering graduates and architectures how to become a valuer. And do comment about the video, and if you have any query, please write to us or you can comment. Thank you so much.